Habari ma-Africa, mimi ni King, nina furaha kukutana na wewe. Asante kwa kutazama King Said So. Ladies and gentlemen, very interesting that the EFF has stormed the office of Mkhwebane municipality, demanding that the councillors that they redeployed from council office must get out of that office because now they are working with the DA and the Inkatha Freedom Party. Now, you tell me if the EFF are right or wrong. Because you remember these councillors are the councillors that failed to bring buses to the FNB Stadium for their 10th year anniversary. And Julius Silo Malema said he's not going to joke with people like that. He's going to make sure that they are fired. They were supposed to be fired. But how is it possible that they kept their job for since 2023, 2024? It's 2025 now. Why are they still in office? I really don't understand. And the EFF went in the full force, not making any jokes. Now, our president Cyril Ramaphosa has signed the expropriation bill. I don't know what that means. Don't ask me, because it's just pure rubbish and tactics to make us think that there's some type of progress with the bill. There is nothing changed with Section 25, ladies and gentlemen. Nothing. Nothing has changed. So I don't know what bill is he signing or whatever is happening. We will talk about that. Dada Morero says that there's over 200 hijacked buildings in Johannesburg. Imagine 200, and I think 40 something of them is from the state. 48 of them was from the state-owned buildings. How can the state have 48 buildings hijacked? The state. So how are you going to help the private sector that has lost their buildings, the Mzungus and all of those settlers, when you yourself, you can't get your own buildings back? You can't. Lastly, I want to close with Mary Phadi. Mary Phadi is back. And Mary Phadi still claims that she is the provincial convener for Mpumalanga. That Busisiwe Mkhwebane is leading ghosts. She's recycling people, and she's she's not a leader in Mpumalanga. Mary Phadi is back with force. She's still fighting. She's still going to media and announcing the fight between her and Busisiwe Mkhwebane. This is what we say. The MK is like 2029 is far from the MK because of the in-house fighting that is there. Whether you like it or not, like the MK people are fighting for positions, and Mary Phadi ula ukred. So she's going to fight Busisiwe Mkhwebane tooth and nail. Let's talk about that and much more.
Welcome to King Said So, Africa's one land, one language, one currency, one army on King Said So. Africans can unite. Your Pan-Africanist podcast. Enjoy.
Peace in Pan-Africanism to all my African brothers and sisters from all around the world. Welcome back to King Said So. I'm your host, Kagiso from Zinjiva Sono, and we're back at it again with another one. And this time around, I'm covering how many topics? About 3 topics for you guys, so that you guys can be very well informed with what is happening. Thank you so much for everyone that is buying tickets to the gala dinner and the event that is happening on Saturday. Friday night, we are having a gala dinner. The tickets is 1,000 Rand. The VIP is 2,000 Rand. The VIP is going to sell out. You guys, please move fast when it comes to the VIP. It's a strategic gala dinner where we'll be talking to strategic partners, people that want to fund this thing, people that want to see this dream of Paseta coming through. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. It's limited seats because of the venue. You understand? Because of the venue, we can only take 100 to 250 people, 120 people for the gala dinner because of the tables, they're taking space and everything. So please make quickly those who have got paid on the 23rd, the 20th, those who are getting paid on the 25th and end of the month, please purchase your ticket by going to www.paseta.co.za. And those who say, King, I might not be able to come, busy, whatever is happening, but let me just make my contribution, my monthly contribution of 50 Rand to the school so that you guys can buy some drinks for the people. It's very expensive to organize a gala dinner. That's one thing I'm finding out. The prices of drip, there's something they call a drip on a wall and this on a table. I'm like, ish. the organizing committee, they're giving me a headache, but a good headache, because Paseta has to, advertise this standard of excellence and nothing less. It's not going to be a Mickey Mouse manga gala dinner. It's going to be a proper gala dinner. So you are very much welcomed and invited to that gala dinner. Let's start with the economic freedom fighters, the way they stormed in there at Umhla Tuze municipality office. Guys, the EFF this year, the EFF this year. Now, yesterday, I was making a video about the EFF student command. I'm saying their behavior of vandalizing other people's gazebos and everything is not accepted, and it should not be condoned and everything. And some people say, King, you don't know the full story and everything. And I said, guys, it's not about knowing the full story. It's about you failing to articulate yourself properly and resorting to violence. This time around, I understand why the EFF did what they did. Not necessarily wanting to condone them breaking the glass, vandalizing the office. No. But I understand why they are doing what they are doing now. I understand it. These councillors cannot remain in office when the party has redeployed them. They are no longer part of the party. Who are they representing there in council? Who are they representing there? You understand? Now they are working with counter-revolutionary parties. It's wrong what these councillors are doing. These 3 councillors must be fired, must be recalled, and the EFF must appoint their own people. Whether me and you agree with this tactic that Julius Malema did, because FNB Stadium was full regardless whether they brought the buses or not. FNB Stadium was full. Some people said Julius was too harsh. And Julius Malema, his explanation at that time, I remember, he said, you guys are used to competency and incompetence. So we are not going to allow that to fly in the EFF. We want excellence. We want people to come and do their job. And those who don't do their job, they are out. That's what Julius Malema said then, whether me and you agree or not. But when the party goes that direction and say, we are wanting to fire people who do not bring buses, you can say it's a pity thing. Why are they so insensitive? Other people were explaining, listen, I'm in a rural area. My municipality is poor. My ward is small, everything. All of those things. There were excuses flying all around. And others, when they were fired, they gladly stepped down. They did not commit any drama or anything. So this is the EFF's decision. I will obviously say vandalizing and everything is wrong, but this looks like this is the EFF we're going to get going forward. Whether this is going to turn around and bite them is another issue. I'm not going to say it's going to bite them now. The EFF will see for themselves, because the EFF saying they are sick and tired of playing. They are sick and tired. I don't know. There's just anger there. There's just aggression there. There's a radicalness there that they are doing. Let me allow the EFF to do what they do, but I cannot obviously agree with people vandalizing property. Yeah. The next thing, you're going to make a march to the library and burn the library, or to the school and break the school gates and all of those things. We don't want those type of things. But anyway, you guys will tell me what you think on the comment section. Cyril Ramaphosa has signed the Bella bill. What did he sign? The expropriation bill, not the Bella bill. He signed the Bella bill also. Yes, I know Cyril these days. Let's listen to Mzanele Manye what he was saying about this bill, if it's going to change anything or not.
This act of law now.
There's nothing that this law is going to do that you could not do before without it. So it's a completely useless piece of legislation. This legislation, all it does is just for the ANC to do its rhetoric and to do all its, all its statements to just fool the people. There's nothing, I mean, without this law, we're able to do a Gautrain, and the expropriation with compensation happened, which is what this law still promotes. Without this law, farms were given to black people and all of that, and farmers were compensated. Without this law, absolutely nothing is going to change. So this is just a complete waste of time. It's rhetoric. It's just to fool the people. The nub of the issue is Section 25. And within Section 25, the real issue here, which has never been dealt with to date, up until the MK party has come up now with a private members bill, which will be tabling in this first quarter. The key issue here, I'm happy that even the previous processes did not yield anything, because had those processes won, it would have been a hollow victory. Hollow victory because there's a section there, Section 25, subsection 7 in the Constitution. That section has got a cutoff date. The cutoff date is 19 June 1913. That thing says all land that has been robbed of our people, whether it's colonialism or apartheid, must then be redistributed, restituted. That's what that thing says, but from 19 June 1913 onwards. So basically that clause in the Constitution has sanitized the land theft that happened from 1652 until 1913. It meant that if that discussion had happened, was successful, it would have been successful to the extent of dealing with issues post-1913. So in fact, it was a blessing in disguise that that process did not succeed. The bill that the MK party will be putting on the table in this first quarter is the one that moves that date back to 1652, 6 April 1652. This is when Jan van Riebeeck first set foot here. That is what must happen, and we're going to do that without compensation.
The day we South Africans, or let me rather put it like this, until the day we South Africans, black South Africans, African South Africans, stand up and go to the streets and demand our land back, that's the only time we'll get our land. Not through parliament. Not through parliament. These people, they don't want to give us land. They don't want to. They don't want to. And the reason why they don't want to is because South Africans, black South Africans, have never shown seriousness about land. The most South Africans that I speak to, the majority of them, want jobs over land. Or they ask you directly, what am I going to do with the land? I don't even have a 10 rand to erect a fence. So rather than give me a land, give me a job at Clicks. Give me a job at Mr. Price. Give me a job, a teaching job. Give me a job. Don't tell me about land. I will rent someone's back room. That is South Africa. Section 25 is not changed. It's not changed. Subsections in the Section 25 are not touched. You must expropriate land by negotiating with your colonizers, willing buyer, willing seller, rubbish. That is what we have accepted, Tina Bantu Abamnyama. Hey, sometimes I read the comments because I like reading the comments a lot. I read the comments, I'm like, yo, or is it a Mzungu who's hiding behind a black name? You know, they like doing that, creating accounts with African names so that they can comment on our videos. So we have seen that quite a lot. And the reasoning capacity, you're like, no, man, this can't be a black person reasoning like this. It cannot be. This can't be an African. Really, there's an African that thinks like this. That is what is going on with the land issue. But you guys will tell me what you think about Cyril signing. Is he even in the country, Cyril? Where did he sign? Is he back? What is going on? Anyway, yeah, let's talk about Dada Morero, the mayor of Johannesburg, about the 200 buildings that are hijacked in that municipality. Yo, 200.
The first level of the projects is to try to raid, to push back criminals in those buildings. And of course, the second phase will be taking over the building and evacuating the occupants of the building.
Okay, so this is an ongoing campaign, because you spoke to us at ENC in October last year about your efforts, as an incoming mayor, to really address the issue of hijacked buildings. Do you have an estimate of the number of hijacked buildings that are in the inner city today?
Well, it could be more than 200 or so. But those that are owned by the city that we're focusing on currently is just around 48. So the effort is to bring back those, as we also engage property owners to work with them to also assist in also bringing back those that are in private hands, because it's important for us to really be aggressive on this thing as part of the rejuvenation of the city. It requires efforts from ourselves, the police, property owners and general population to help us to address this thing.
Are the private property owners coming to the party? Because for the longest time they were feeling left alone, they were feeling abandoned by the city, not being helped, a bit frustrated. Are they working well with you now?
Now we've had good meetings with property owners, others who have come forward and said, we own these buildings, we've got the money to start renovation. We've been asking the city for some time to help evacuate the people there. So we think with their efforts and our collaboration with the private sector and the property owners, we'll be able to achieve our ultimate goal, which is basically rejuvenation of the inner city.
Yeah, there was a story late last year about Remington Court, which had been successfully, it was a notorious building, hijacked, but apparently it's been successfully revamped, or on the way being revamped to be for students' accommodation. Are those the kind of efforts you want to see the private sector do more and more?
Yeah. That's the efforts we're doing, and I think even ourselves, we also recovered one last year, which has already been renovated, with 155 units for low-cost rentals ranging from 800 to 1,900. So we're making inroads, and that's the type of interventions we'd like to see. And we're still calling on the private sector to really come in and invest in the inner city.
When it comes to government, I know government, when it took over in 1994, some of the buildings were not disclosed properly to our black government. That's why they were managed to be hijacked. When it comes to private buildings, they were abandoned. And now those people are coming back to say, but I've got the papers to these buildings. Hey, your papers, when did you get this building? No, I got it in 1962. My father built it in 1942. Well, it's an apartheid building. We are taking it over. And we're going to supply accommodation for the students. We're going to supply cheap accommodation for our African people who are working in our country. We are going to make sure that South Africans live comfortable with a low rental price and everything. Take those buildings. Over 200 buildings that were private owned. You can just imagine. You can just imagine. And by the way, this is not only in Johannesburg. Go to Pretoria and go and see what's going on there. Go and see what is going on in Pretoria. Go and see what's going on in KwaZulu-Natal also. It's very sad that, I don't know, maybe it's my thinking. I'm thinking, get the army, take everybody out, renovate, put everybody who's supposed to be back in. Everybody out, write your names here. Those who are supposed to be in the building, you'll go back in the building after we renovate it, but this is the price that you're going to pay, or this is, make the arrangement. I'm just thinking like that, because our army, they must go and practice somewhere, because we have got an army that does not go to the gun range. We've got an army that does not fly planes. We've got an army that is just sitting around being on TikTok. Our army. Have you guys seen them on TikTok? Dancing with uniform, twerking in uniform. So for me, it's like, how? You can't get buildings. So you can identify there's a building here, there's people inside there. Hey, okay, human rights courts will come and say, if you take them out, you must give them alternative accommodation. I think that's another problem that makes them to be slow in all of that. But anyway, you guys will tell me what you think. I want to close with the story of Mary Phadi versus Busisiwe Mkhwebane.
In Mpumalanga, you have a different view.
Look, the reality of the matter is that we should look at, more on facts rather than, incidents that have happened. She was announced on national TV, and there's a difference between appointment and an announcement. So the reason why it's a different view is that you cannot insist on saying that I'm a former convener. When in actual fact, previously Umkhonto Wesizwe would give you a letter of redeployment in your position. So when she was announced, we're thinking that they will submit that letter. In the absence of that, Umkhonto Wesizwe sent me a letter through her office to say that my membership has been terminated, which is something then that had made me to go to court so that we can prove those allegations. So if you are bringing another leader, you cannot bring a leader on allegations. You must bring a leader on the actual fact of how Umkhonto Wesizwe is doing things. And at the moment, it was not based on principle. It was based on emotions and the hearsay.
So what is the situation now? Who is the leader? She says she's the one that's in charge. She even says that she has had meetings with some of the regional, she's on the ground building branches, regional organizations, and building leadership from there. Are you still doing your job as convener in that province?
We are working. It's just a normal day for us.
So there are two leaders of the MK party in Mpumalanga?
There's no two leaders. She's in contempt of court. There's no two leaders there. She's not supposed to be there. The legal team has given her a letter to say that she must refrain calling herself a convener of the province and allow me to do my work, because she's confusing the ground. Another thing maybe we should differentiate. There's a difference between being on social media, on Twitter, and being on the ground. And the true reflection of the ground is that we are still intact and we are still managing the ground, and we are at 95%. I don't know really who she's leading there in Mpumalanga, and I'm hoping to see those people that she's leading. We'll prove that on the 15th of February, that we are working in Mpumalanga on the ground. We are not taking pictures of recycling people from one venue to another. We are talking about the true members of...
The issue of Mary is almost similar to the issue of Dr. Mbuyisane Ndlozi, where the leadership does not speak and set the record clear about this woman. The leadership has come and say, this party is not run by the courts. This party is run by the top structure of the MK political party. This structure is run by Ubaba. And what Ubaba appoints as a provincial convener, that's the provincial convener. Because it's confusing what Mary is doing there. And I love her, by the way. I love her energy. I love her fighting spirit. I just so think that it's misdirected. I favor Busisiwe Mkhwebane because she's my home girl. We come from KwaNdebele, all of us. She's from Kwaga, I'm from KwaMhlanga. It's just next door. It's one township that is big, actually, because there's no more space between Kwaga and Mhlanga. So, I want Busisiwe to do good, but I also want Umeri to have a fair shake, like something like somebody calling those two ladies and sitting them down and say, you guys are going to work together. Or maybe split Mpumalanga into two pieces. Let Busisiwe work the side of KwaNdebele, Awusabuswa, Marapiane, that side, up until maybe Witbank. And then you have the other part being worked, Nelspruit, and just split it with Lowveld and Highveld. Let me rather say that. And let them work. I think that will still be successful. But this issue of Mary, turning the ground forces up against Busisiwe Mkhwebane is going to hurt the MK political party. That's why many analysts, including myself, are saying, listen, the MK party will self-destruct because of its members, because of the issue of power, the issue of positions. And if they don't come, the spokesperson and the national person and the secretary general, if they don't come and clear this air up, it's going to be problematic forever in the MK political party. You're going to go into the 2026 local election, as Herzog says, in 2027 elections. It's going to be a problematic time for the MK political party. People are going to leave this party saying this party does not want to clarify issues about leadership, especially on the low structures. You understand? So they are appointing left and right, but people are not happy. People are not happy. So here is Mary again on national TV going against what her political party says, saying, listen, Busisiwe is in contempt of court because the court have declared her as the provincial convener. It's crazy what is going on there, but you guys will share your thoughts on the comment section. Thank you so much for tuning in on King Said So. Until we meet again, don't forget to pray, but after you pray, stand up, African child, do your best so that God can do the rest. Peace in Pan-Africanism. I salute you.